Look at this damn shirt. It's epic. Anyway, today we're looking at this epic deck profile from your boy Thomas. Thomas posted in the Dark Magician group on Facebook saying that he got 4-0 at locals with Dark Magician, so you know we gotta check that out. We got the DM shirt on, we're ready to watch it, we're very excited. Just a warning for headphone users, this video is quiet and I'm loud, so good luck.
2 Dark Magicians, 3 is too bricky, 1 just not enough, especially with today, everybody banishing everything and ripping cards out of graveyards, and, just 2 is good. 1 Magician's Rod, and the reason for 1 is because
Ref.
3 souls, pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Get
Soul's good. Soul's good.
So you can set up your Eternal Soul and Dark Magical Circle plays, as well as setting up your Soul Servant for the draws. 2 Illusion of Chaos, because I play
Prep. Nice.
2 prep. So that way then you have a total of 4 Illusion of Chaos, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you open up 2 Illusion of Chaos, that's bricky. So that's why I don't do 3.
Let's place our bets. I'm guessing there's Red Eye's Fusion Engine because Rod at 1. I want to say we're not playing Timaeus in this build, but the double prep to Illusion of Chaos, maybe we are. Maybe we got Allure of Darkness as well. I might just be projecting all of my ref builds now, but let's find out. What it be? We want to see the ref.
Which I'm kind of skipping around a little bit, but
let's go! Let's go!
Imagine, boom, Red Eyes Fusion.
2.
And
2 Red Eyes for Red Eyes Fusion, and that's going to be a Wyvern, I'm guessing. You know why? You cut DMG, you just play Red Eyes instead. It's literally better.
I'm going to get a lot of people being like, why you play 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon? That's so ridiculous. You're just playing.
Don't worry about them.
Well, yes and no. Yes, in a sense that it is.
Like, these people saying this shit literally play Dark Magician. Like, half our deck does nothing by itself. Like, if you can run some extra vanillas and cut DMG to play a card that gives you Dragoon and DM in the bin, name a card that does that. Excuse me, name a card in Yu-Gi-Oh! That will give you your boss monster and your main boss monster, you could say, vanilla guy, in the grave in one card. Oh, it only loses to Ash? Fantastic. What do you mean? That's great. And people are like, oh, but you're gonna get ashed. Get ashed on Rod. And then where's your Timaeus combo? It's gone. Get ashed on Souls draws. You'll get ashed on things that are relevant, even if you don't get ashed on ref. Like, I don't understand. But anyway, let's keep watching.
This is very breaky, but no, in a sense that if you go Red Eyes Fusion on your first turn,
5 copies.
You just have Dragoon out,
5 copies of ref.
They out that Dragoon. How are you gonna get back into another one? Are you gonna
absolutely
somehow magically get it back from grave with Selene? Are you going to play a monster born in the deck to get it? No.
Reborn's good.
Doing the second Red Eyes Fusion to then get another Dragoon for a 2-pop, I think, it actually saved me in my first game against Trap Tricks.
Yeah, I don't think some players, like players who don't play ref, I don't think they've ever experienced what it's like to top deck ref in a game you've lost. Like, there's not a single card in Dark Magician that you can top deck and you're like, oh, I'm back in the game. Besides ref. I can think of so many games, like so many formats ago. Like, this is when Anaconda was legal, but I still played ref at 3, right? And my opponent would out my board and blah, 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 blah. And I would just top deck ref and it would just win you the game. Like, you'd play it, pop 2, swing. Like, it just is the best card for the deck, okay? Yeah, it's not a DM card. Who gives a shit? Neither is hand traps, neither are floodgates. And you play them, so just play damn ref.
So then the Dark Magician spells and traps that I played, 2 Circle.
Okay, nice.
3 Soul Servant.
Nice.
1 Secrets.
1 Secrets, cool.
1 Salvation, which is essentially just 3 Eternal Souls.
Yeah, better 3 Eternal Souls.
In this deck, we're unfortunately not playing Dark Magician Girl, and that is because she, in of herself, is a brick. Because there's no way for us to just dump her to the grave or
exactly, and that's the problem. People are like, I play DMG because she gives you an extra draw. Great. But we play another Red Eyes instead of that, so we can use the most powerful spell in the deck. Like, it's kind of worth it. Whereas DMG can just be really, really bad. But, we're arguing over nothing at this point, right? A brick's a brick.
Cycle her outside of Illusion of Chaos, and it just, if you end up drawing like if you end up drawing a hand of DM, Red Eyes, Dark Magician Girl, Eternal Soul,
Ugh,
and like
yeah. It's bad.
some other random card, that's 3 bricks in your hand, and
Yeah, we don't want that.
and what I
Oh?
consider to be a real like double-edged sword
Mm-hmm. The
is Secret
village.
Village.
Two.
Dragoon is the
Big
ultimate
nuts.
spellcast. So in this deck, we're essentially playing 5 copies of it.
Okay.
I'll only run 2 metaverses because I only own 2 metaverses. So
It's probably fine
but I
too.
also feel like a third one would have been super clunky,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm okay with running the terraforming 2 metaverses and then 2 secret villages because
The crazy thing about Village with Dragoon is like all the things Dragoon loses to outside of a Kaiju are spells, right? You lose to Triple Tactics Talents, you lose to Forbidden Droplet, you lose to Dark Ruler no more. You lose to Artemis Slayer. Yeah, Artemis Slayer, or whatever that card's English name is, that card can just send the Boral Link 5 and it can just out Dragoon. So you do need to negate with like all these things bait Dragoon negate, or they just don't care. Like Dark Ruler and Droplets don't care, right? So Dragoon actually loses to a lot of spells. So having Village with Dragoon, like you win most games, I want to say. Like it feels like an 85% win rate when you have those 2 cards out. And that's like just 2 cards, right? Now, of course, it's hard to get to both those cards all the time, but if you can, it's really good. And it seems to have worked really well here for your boy.
up next I have some of the
Oh,
some of the more like utility
so it is a law,
cards,
but
the
also
board
super
breakers.
poly.
Super Poly
Interesting.
was fantastic in my Dragon Links matchup. Also, it's situationally good if they do, if they kind of set up the wrong board
Hmm.
with Kashtira.
That's true. It's still good
You
into
can
cash.
Allure of Darkness just because it's card draw.
What was that
Because
spice
everything
after?
in this deck is
I'm
dark.
curious.
I don't think there's a single light monster. The only non-dark monster in this deck is Red Eyes Wyvern, and he's a win.
Yeah, why is Wyvern a win? It sucks.
So he's not banishable by Bestials. Just keep that in mind, everybody, because I actually had somebody try to do that last night, and I'm like, nope,
That's
he is a
a
win
good
type.
point. I hadn't thought of that. That's big brain. Oh, it's cross
Uh,
out.
the next little section here is because I absolutely hate, but I
Single
used
Ash.
to hate playing Red Eyes Fusion, right?
Single
I was
Ash.
not a fan of it. I was on the branded engine for a long time, but
Really? Well,
after playing
kudos.
branded engine a bunch, either I wasn't using it correctly or it just seemed like the branded engine on its own does better when you stay in archetype.
It, and that's what it's always felt like. I totally agree. Branded Fusion is a great card and it can help DM, but you feel like you're playing worse branded at that point. At that point, you're like, just go play branded. You'll see that other YouTubers who play DM and play branded have also just played pure branded. It's like, wow, it's almost like just play that deck. It's better. But in the case of Ref, right, playing a Red Eyes deck's not necessarily better because I actually think DM's the better deck. What's interesting here is this player doesn't like Ref. They've openly said they don't like playing Ref and they played the branded build. I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've tried playing Ref. And they went with Called By and Cross Out like a king, and they went 4-0 at locals. Like, Ref is a good card.
The last 2 things I'm playing is just one Magical
Oh.
Eyes Fusion, just to get,
Another Dragoon.
in case you don't see a Red Eyes Fusion,
Okay.
Magical Eyes Fusion, you can, fuse for another Dragoon.
Don't forget that Magician Souls and Magical Eyes can make a Dragoon, because Magician Souls summon DM, link into I'm Duck, play Magical Eyes, that's a Dragoon. Boom. Boom, bam, thank you, ma'am.
And I actually rarely saw this. And by the time I did see it, I already had my 2 Dragoons out. So the only thing he was really going to be able to bring out was either Master of Chaos or the Dark Magicians, and then
Yeah.
by that point, I was already, you know,
Yeah, the game's over.
winning.
Yep, 2 Dragoon.
And Instant Fusion is a little sneaky little tech card that only
Mmm.
worked once last night, but that's just because I got essentially a dead hand, and they also kind of didn't get the greatest. But when I
Man,
go over the extra
I
deck,
wish we
you'll be
had
able to see
Anaconda.
what exactly
So many good fusion cards that are
we
just
played.
shit now. Like
Alrighty,
magicalized.
moving on to the extra deck. Obviously, we
Dragoon!
got the MVP.
Yeah, baby!
Then the one Dragon Knight, one Dark Magicians. Um, I've been considering taking out the Dark Magicians only because
Mm.
we don't run the Dark Magician Girl,
Yeah, it feels a bit bad.
but it's good in the uh, like against the Despia matchups, because if they get out like Cartesia or Quem and you have Dark Magician out, then you can go Super Poly and go into Dark Magicians and essentially take away one of their like key combo pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Master of Chaos. I feel like
I always
Master of Chaos.
try to super poly 2 of my opponent's monsters. It just feels bad using your own. Like, you already got a discard, and then if you're gonna use your own card, like, you don't get the value of super poly. Obviously, sometimes it's optimal to use your own card in super poly, but just be careful when playing super poly, because I see a lot of DM players be like, "Oh, this new DM fusion sucks, but we can use it as a super poly target." And I'm just like, yeah. You want to go neg 3? Like, sure thing. Like, obviously it's not neg 3, but you know what? It may as well be neg 3. Like, you're outing a card on your board, you're discarding, and you're losing super poly to disrupt one card of your opponent's. I guess it's technically neg 2, but it's just not card efficient, right? But obviously there's scenarios where that's fine, so I'm not gonna rage. I'm just saying be careful when you play Super Poly and look out for the maximum value you can get on it. Dark Magicians and Master of Chaos are mainly there to secrets in battle phase for damage. That is their main purpose. And it's kind of sad. Like, they should be fusion monsters we can summon easier than Dragoon, right? They're worse than Dragoon by a long shot. Even Dragonite's worse than Dragoon by a long shot. We should be summoning them for free the way we summon Dragoon so easily with Ref. The fact that we don't is a hate crime. Like, we have to put in extra effort for these cards, and they're actually not great, right? Compared to Dragoon. It's very sad.
Magician and Illusion of Chaos in hand, go to Master of Chaos. Master of Chaos, bring back out Dark Magician. So then again, if you have Dark Magician on field during battle phase, that's 25. And then this is 3k, and then bring back Dark Magician with Master of Chaos to then do another 2500 for a total of 8k, like right on the dot. So it's almost like they planned it to
Oh,
essentially
the Guardian.
save
Chimera
to
good.
pull up some of the Rika cards,
This makes secrets good.
because he just had I attributed away his stuff and then blew them up with Chimera and then swung.
Yep.
So that's pretty much have it
Big.
there. The
The
two
Super
Super
Poly
Poly
targets.
targets are Mud Dragon and Garura.
No one on starving
Um,
anymore. Makes sense though.
Mud Dragon,
This does like everything.
Mud Dragon doesn't really work against Cashier unless they kind of botch their plays.
The instant fusion target,
Now,
Millennium
the
Eyes.
secret tech card,
Cool.
Instant Fusion,
Cool.
with Millennium Eyes Restrict, because if you're not going to go into your Red Eyes Fusion plays, then Instant Fusion becomes a one card anti-Ash.
Yeah, that's true.
Or anti, anything,
Anything
any
but
hand
Imperm,
trap.
yeah. The Relinquish Anima in the most oversized sleeve I've ever seen. That is a Pokemon sleeve, my guy.
Because it is a level 1 monster, so it allows you to go into Anima to then, if they, put it in the wrong space.
Yep, you gotta play Iron Dog. That makes sense. Yeah, you gotta have Artemis. Fact. Even with Rod at 1, I think it's still okay to play Artemis. I think so.
She doesn't have any.
Oh yeah, he's got the package.
One game to bring back a Dragoon. Now, granted, he didn't have any pops.
Yeah, people forget you can just use Selene for Selene and just keep bringing back Dragoons and shit, right? Bringing back your big fusions. It's like, you don't have to just bring back and go on access code, right? You don't have to. Selene is also Eternal Soul, basically. Alright, we're going to speed through some of the sides, but we've got 1 Lava Golem and 3 Nibiru with 2 of the Dark Kaiju. That's mainly because he's playing Allure of Darkness, so you want to have that ability to just send the extra copies of Raiden away for free draws, right? What's a little bit kind of sucky here is you can't ref with the Kaijus or the Lava Golem, which sucks, but you can still Nibiru, obviously, because you can do it on your opponent's turn, which is really big. Then, of course, you can pop the Nibiru token with Dragoon. They don't burn for the damage, sadly, but they do. It just has removed the token, right? Of course, Dark Magical Circle is another great way to remove the Nibiru token if it is pretty big. Getting on to other sides, you've got triple Dark Ruler, 2 Lightning Storm, and Duster. Pretty good cards. Dark Ruler's super good. I'm more of a Swords of Concealing Light fan, which is a bit of a controversial take. But I like to kill with Ref and Dragoon, and that card lets me do it while Dark Ruler doesn't. But if you can Dark Ruler and set up your board and clear theirs, by all means, it's the better card and it's very cheap as well. So definitely go for Dark Ruler over Droplet. I don't think Droplet's very good in DM because we just don't have enough cards to get rid of for it to be beneficial. We don't have enough one-card starters besides that Ref. But I will approve of Dark Ruler. I just play cards of Swords of Revealing Light. Swords of Concealing Light, because I'm a muppet. And then we've got 3 Skill Drain to wrap it out. I'm pretty sure that's all the cards in the deck. Overall, an awesome deck. Shoutouts to Thomas for going 4-0 with this. This deck is awesome. I think if any of us play this again soon, we should probably try playing the Crossout Designators, playing the Call by the Grave at 1, and just having, 4 ways, or technically 5 with Instant Fusion, but you can't ref with Instant Fusion. But having all these ways to play around hand traps and interruption seems pretty good. As I said, some of the tech does conflict with ref, but that's just how it is, right? Instant Fusion and Kaijus and Lava Golem, they do conflict with what you're trying to do here, but that's just how it is, right? Sometimes you just have to play these cards because they're very good. Big thumbs up for your boy Thomas. I'll have the original link in the description of the video, so make sure you go check it out and drop him a big thumbs up and a nice and call him a king. So yeah, congrats to Thomas. Finally good to have some DM news. I know it's topping the locals and some people will dismiss that and say it doesn't matter. But think about how competitive some locals are, because I know Thomas's is, I know mine is. And DM, even at a locals level, struggles to win. So don't give me that crap about locals not counting, alright? DM is a pretty rough deck to play, even within a casual deck scenario. A lot of casual decks beat DM, even if you're trying to play competitive, right? I could talk all day about decks that beat DM. But anyway, let's just focus on this awesome work by Thomas and this fantastic build we have that we can now lab. I'm keen to take this build onto Yugioh Omega Ranked and maybe give it some cracks. But yeah, overall, thank you very much, Thomas, and I'll be using this. So, hey, thank you. Drop that man a like, drop that man a subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Hey you, yeah you, you've been wondering where I get my singles from. Well, it brings me great joy to say I get my singles from Grimdark Gaming. Whether you play Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Dragon Ball, Flesh and Blood, Magic the Gathering, MetaZoo, or whatever it is you're after, make sure with your purchase to use code Loza2 and apply that to get 5% off your order. And of course, that 5% goes to helping me out to make this channel so awesome for you. So make sure you check out Grimdark Gaming down in the description of this video and use the promo code Loza2.